Hello folks, and welcome back to another episode of Wheels of Mercury. This time is another Releases I Love video for the winter of late 2024 and early 2025. I'm not going to waste too much time doing a preamble and all that. Let's just jump into the list, starting with two black metal bands that released two albums that came out in the early winter of last year. The first of which is Skagos with their album Chariot Sun Blazing. This is the Canadian/American black metal band's first album in 11 years, and it is beautiful. It's got a lot of strings and horns and stuff like that. It actually made me almost shed a tear when I first heard it. One of the tracks, I forget what it's called, it'll be down below me, but I forget what it's called, but one of the tracks actually made me shed a tear. Almost shed a tear. Skagos returning with one of the best black metal albums of the year in December of 2024. Albums like this and the next one I'm gonna talk about is why I don't do my Golden Wheel Awards video until January. Because you never know when a top 10 list or anything like that might be wrecked by these albums coming out so late in the year, like last minute. Same with Aara with their album Eiger. Now this Swiss black metal band has been going for a little while, and they are very, very prolific, and they are just phenomenal. This album is about a mountain accident that happened in the 40s or 50s, somewhere around there, in a mountain in the Alps near where they live in Switzerland. It's an intense album. It's a beautiful album at times. That drummer, man, for Aara, he could fill in for 1349 if their drummer ever gets sick or something. Like, he's that good. And their vocalist, Flus, she insanely high screams. Like, her high screams are so high, I can kind of barely hear them. But on this album, they're actually mixed so I can kind of hear them a little bit. So that's a plus, because on that last Triad 3 album, I couldn't really hear her screams. They were buried in the mix. So they put her screams out front this time, so I can kind of hear it now. So cool, awesome, thank you, Aara. And shout out to Alter the Madness from Durham, UK, for kind of getting me into Aara. It's his all-time favorite band. I think it's one of his all-time favorite bands anyway. So yeah, shout out to you, mate. Next up is the first album that kind of resonated with me in the year 2025. And that is an album called Spectrum from a band called Am I in Trouble? This is the debut record from this New Jersey avant-garde progressive black metal band founded by a guy named Steve Weiner and a couple of his bandmates from a band that I don't know. I forget their name. It'll be down below. This has blemishes. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, because some of the singing is a little off key, and the main guitar part in the first metal song on the album, which is the second track, is kinda off key a little bit. But what it lacks in like production and like fine tuning, it makes up for in sheer like passion. And that's what I love. In the age where AI and all that is making music sound so soulless, it's refreshing to see something like this sound so human and raw. It's a great album. If you like stuff like Die Folk and Opeth and Borknagar and Enslaved, check this out. It's pretty cool. Next up is the best thrash metal record of the year in my opinion so far. And before I talk about this record, I'm gonna let you know straight up, I'm going to censor this album cover because it could be triggering to some people. Just to let you know beforehand. Necrodeath with their album Arimortis. Necrodeath is an Italian band that have been going since the 80s, and this is their final record. And it's full of like Slayer style galloping riff, a lot of Creator-like energy, like a lot of black and thrash sort of energy, like Creator or Hellripper. It got a ton of energy for a band that's been going this long, and they left on a high note, and I'll have to check out their back catalog if they're this good this late into their career. Yeah, Necrodeath, Arimortis. I think it's the best thrash metal release this year so far. So if you like thrash metal, check this out. Next up is one of my favorite black metal bands, Havukruunu, with their album Tavastland. Holy moly. The riffs on this thing are incredible. The Finnish core vocals are incredible. The screaming vocals in Finnish are incredible. The icy production is freaking insane. The guitar solos that are reminiscent of 80s Scorpions and 80s hair metal is awesome. And it's just a great record all along. This is an awesome example of Finnish black metal. If you like stuff like Moon Sorrow or Spectral Wound, check these guys out. They're freaking awesome. Next up is an album I've been waiting to talk about in a full video since I made this short up here, which you can check out right now if you want. Ethmebb! Allo baba e le carambule. Forgive my French. These guys are silly, avant-garde, progressive death metal thing. The way I discovered these guys was through the good people over at the Angry Metal Guy server. They were checking it out. I was listening to the new Gaylorant album at the time, which is, okay, a little bit disappointing. But anyways, people were ranting and raving about this Ethmebb. And so I was like, why not check this out? And then my mind just went, seriously, this is insane stuff. And as you can tell by the album cover, they don't take themselves too seriously at all. So if you like stuff like Mr. Bungle, Arcturus, Unexpect, and other bands like that, yeah, check this out. You'll have a lot of fun. I think this is the funnest album I've heard this year. So, thank you, Ethmebb, for cheering me up and giving me an escape from reality, man. Awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Alright, next up is a band I've been a fan of for a long time. And that is All That Remains with their very cringily titled album, Anti-Fragile. I'm not really a fan of that album title. But anyway, it's a great album. And Jason Richardson does an amazing job filling in for the departed Ollie Herbert. Rest in peace to him. He was an amazing guitarist. But anyway, yeah, this is an awesome record. The drumming by the new drummer is pretty awesome too. It's not as good as the drumming from Shannon Lucas back in the day on the Fall of Ideals album, but it comes close at times. And okay, how do I say this about Phil Labonte? I separate the art from the artist with All That Remains because of Phil's politics, which I don't agree with. The other thing that makes it easier for me to do so is the fact that the lyrics are vague, so I can put my own interpretations on the lyrics. This is a band that I've been a fan of for a long time, like I'm talking a decade plus. I have memories associated with this band's music. It's basically just become quote unquote mine. I hope you guys understand that. If you want to check out the record, by all means, go for it. It's awesome. But if you don't want to check out the record because of Phil Labonte, I understand. Everybody got their line in the sand that they draw. It's all good. Next up is the only EP on the list by the deathcore band Enterprise Earth entitled Descent into Madness. This is an awesome EP by this deathcore group. There are so many good moments on it. It's just so well put together. I'm not really that big of a fan of deathcore, but when it's done like this, and when it's done in an EP format, it's only 25 minutes long. It's the perfect length for me. I think EPs are the perfect length for that metal subgenre. One of my favorite EPs of all time is a deathcore EP actually, Doom by Drop for Cowboys. But going back to this is an awesome EP that if you're skeptical about deathcore even, don't let your bias get in front of you. Check this out if you're open-minded. It'll surprise you, guaranteed. So, we're down to the growers and outliers section. Sun worship upon the hills of divination. Before Lamp of Murmur, this was the black metal band that was raw in production that I got into back in like 2017. I used to listen to their demos a lot. Since then, they have got a boost up in production and have unfortunately lost a member, going from a trio to a duo. But they're still kicking butt, man. This is an awesome black metal, sort of death metal inspired black metal album, and it's very well put together. I know the vocals are kind of like the weak point of the album, but if you can look past that, it's really well done. Like, yeah, check out this German band, Sun Worship. They're awesome. Next up is Magnetar with There Will Be No Peace in My Valley. This is a Winterfire side project of the bassist from that band. And it's 2 for 2 now with Winterfire side projects that are better than the main band. First Ard was Mark Deeks, and now Magnetar with their bassist. Weird how that happened, eh? This is a ferocious mixing of black metal and traditional heavy metal, but ferocious and just goes for the throat. It just goes, man, and it's awesome. If you want to see like a more ferocious version of that Inconcessious Lux Lucius record from last year, check this out. It's really good. It rips, man. Last up is a very interesting album that I called the black metal equivalent to Absolute Elsewhere from Blood Incantation. But this band comes from the UK instead, and they actually put this album out months before Blood Incantation put their album out. I'm talking about Wisp with their album Strange Balance. Now this is an interesting like fusion of like elements of like Tangerine Dream, Enslaved, and like other ambient slash black metal slash progressive black metal sort of stuff. It's really short, it's like 31 minutes long? It's really short, but it's really interesting how it starts off with like the Tangerine Dream-esque like keyboard parts, and it really builds and builds and builds and builds from there. And it's a really interesting like experience. Like, if you want to hear the black metal version of that new Blood Incantation album, look no further than this Wisp album. It's awesome. And, fun fact, according to the back of the record, which I'll show here right now, they actually use some lyrics from the story Beowulf. I just thought that was very interesting. Alright, time to wrap this Releases I Love video up by looking at a sneak peek of the next episode of Releases I Loved. That'll be out sometime, I don't know, June, July, sometime like that. This'll be the spring 2025 episode. One of these that'll end up in the Growers and Outliers section is this album right here by the Italian black metal band Vulture. It's Vulture without an E. Called Cotores di Peras e Lina. My Italian's not very good. Anyways, this is a surprising album for me because it's not really the most original stuff in the world, but the guitar tone is smoky, it's intense, the drums are intense, and it's only just 35 minutes long. And according to their label, that mask on the album cover is a Sardinian carnival mask called Su-Boe, like S-U space B-O-E. And the singer wears it when he's on stage. So I just thought that was very, very interesting. So yeah, if you're interested in like Sardinian occult legends and stuff like that, and you like stuff like 1349, yeah, check this Vulture album out. It's awesome, and I will be talking about it more in the Growers and Outliers section next time. Next up is an album that will be out probably by the time I finish uploading this video. The Swedish black metal band Ethmebb with their album Sol Till Sortna. failing pronunciation again. But anyway, this album has a lot of great riffs and a lot of great like folk instrumentation and lots of clean vocals for a black metal band actually. And the clean vocals remind me of Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth. Probably because he's Swedish as well. That's probably why I made that connection. Yeah, if you like stuff like Over and like Finnish folk music like Tenhi combined with like Over and other famous Norwegian black metal and Swedish black metal like Dissection and Vinterland and Sacramentum and stuff like that. Yeah, this is awesome. As of the time I'm filming this, it's not out yet, but you can check it out on Black Metal Promotion. If I put this video out by the time Friday comes along, or if Friday has gone past, then you can check it out on streaming. So it depends on when I put this video out. But either way, check it out. It's great. Alright, that's a wrap on my Releases I Love video. What were you guys' releases that you loved during the winter months of 2024/25 up here in the Northern Hemisphere? Or the summer months if you're in like Australia or New Zealand or somewhere like that. Let me know down below. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all of that stuff. Rock on guys, and I will see you in the next video.